Good evening, PCS Nation family. And welcome to another Fat Friday evening edition of PCS Nation Out the Window. Live on Facebook from the PCS Nation studios on the outskirts of Blue, New York City. Ready to kick off another hot 30 minutes of whatever comes up. There's a lot of shit to talk about today. And I'm just now trying to decide like what I'm maddest about. I think that's what the criteria might be for tonight, is deciding, like, picking the thing I'm maddest about. I don't know, but we'll get into it. Queen Linda is joining us right now. She'll have some input on that.
Hey, I thought 7:30 Eastern would never get here.
Yeah, I was late too. I think this is the latest I've ever started since I started being like serious about doing this right.
Oh yeah, not even that.
7:31.
Yeah. The whole day was just such a long, boring day for me.
Really? What happened? I thought you were having so much fun at work.
Yeah, nothing.
Really?
It was a cold, rainy, oh God, it was only like 37 degrees and it rained all day and it was horrible.
We had 70s today.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
wow.
It was a beautiful
day today.
When
you did that little 1-minute promo for the show, I'm like, wow, weather looks kind of good there.
Metallica t-shirt and sneakers.
Cool. Nice.
Yep, that's like my favorite part. It's like getting the boots off and the 25-pound jacket and the 2 hoodies and all the undershirts and everything. Just, stripping it down. So,
hey, with the time change thing.
Yeah.
It's still eating on me a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. It doesn't bother me like so much physically, but now, like when I leave to go to the pool in the morning, 6 a.m., it's pitch black out.
Yeah.
So now I can see I have an issue with the street light that's right on my corner.
Okay.
I live on a corner, okay? So my street address is the front street.
Okay.
We'll call that front street.
All right.
And the side street we'll call side street.
Okay.
And I've got a street light right on the corner, but it's on side street, okay?
Got it.
And it's right by my driveway. It lights up my whole driveway at night. Nobody can mess with our vehicles that are sitting in the driveway or the front door. It's all really nicely lit up. And so now I pull out of my garage in the morning, pitch black, and that street light's out. And and so anyway, this has been an ongoing problem with this street light for years already.
Yeah.
And I put in a complaint I shouldn't say complaint. I put in a report or request for service to the city.
Yeah.
And when the last time I did this about 5 years ago, it was such a clusterfuck because of my street address being, let's say 123 Front Street, but the street light is on side street. So I go to report it. It took them months to find that frickin' street light, because every time they'd come out, they would check the street light that was on the front street in front of my house, and that's not the one that was out. It was the one on the side.
Okay.
Because of my address being Front Street, they never came around the corner to look at the one that's on the corner.
You just lost me a little bit. It's not really Front Street, though, right?
No. The street light is around the corner on side street.
Okay.
But
This is gonna like go right off the rails into a Abbott and Costello, who's on first right now.
Yeah. But so I go to I go on the city website, and they've got a nice form you can fill out and request service and whatever. And back 5 years ago, they just said, "What's your address?" So, I put my address in. Well, they never bothered to go 20 feet around the corner and go look at that street light.
Yeah. Mary Gunny actually made a good point, real quick. They said you should give your neighbor's address.
Neighbor's address. Yes, I should.
That's a great idea. See? We got our 21 cents in tonight.
See? Where was she 5 years ago when I needed her?
All right. Well, you got it now. A PSA,
so
a public service announcement.
Put the request in. We'll see how long it takes this time.
Like, it's not, I don't imagine it's something you could do yourself, right?
No.
Something I might try to, but probably not you.
Yeah, no. And it's kind of sporadic. It's on sometimes and it's off sometimes, but
Really?
it's off a lot.
I make lights
And
go on and off.
the last time this happened, and they kept saying, "Oh, well, we came out and we checked it and it's fine." I was so tempted to take a BB gun and shoot that thing out so it would be out.
Like, yeah, there does seem to be something wrong with it now, you lunatic woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shooting out lights in your neighborhood in suburban Wisconsin.
Yep.
It's a busy weekend night. No Justin tonight. Oh, you know what? I wanted to ask you about it. You told me about it a little bit, but I think we talked about it here, so it's only fair. Let me pop back up here. How'd you do with Popeyes? You told me the other day you were getting the Popeyes.
Oh, yeah. It was good. It was very tasty, and I liked it a lot.
Yep.
And I almost got it for free.
Right.
Because I went to the drive-through window and, placed my order, and I wanted a 12-piece family meal, blah, 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 spicy.
Right.
And I get to the window, and the guy opens the window up, and he said, "Well, we don't have any spicy legs, but you can have regular legs, or you can have other pieces in spicy. Which would you prefer?" And I said, I'll take regular legs, and so that was fine. And he went back in, and he got it all in a box, and he handed my food through the window, and he never collected my money.
Wow.
I could have just drove away.
Well, and your rationale would have been, my rationale would have been, well, you didn't have the stuff I wanted, so you gave me a substitute, but you're not charging me for it. Like, on top of that, just as a gesture of goodwill. Like, I might have taken it that way. I'm not saying, like, I'd be a prick and do that, but, like, I might have taken it like that.
Yeah.
Well, how did it end up, though?
I sat there for a few minutes, and then I shouldn't even say a few minutes. It was less than a minute. And then he opened the window again, and he said, "Oh, thank you for being a good person."
All right. So, you did your good deed for,
I did.
the decade.
Yep.
Good on you.
So
good
how about
job.
you?
I had a, if you guys saw the morning show, subscribers, catch the morning shows. I had my little rant already this morning about my fast food adventures because I didn't want to do that again because it's just going to start getting silly if I do a 10, 15-minute rant about fast food at the beginning of every show, and we're already losing people. So, but my McDonald's completely fucking ruined my St. Patrick's Day because we planned it out last night, Thursday night. Me and Justin did for dinner, and we were going to go to McDonald's and have Shamrock Shakes for St. Patrick's Day, just as like the St. Patrick's Day thing. I'm not going to yell. I swear I'm not going to yell. I'm probably not going to yell. So we get in the car, we get there, and thankfully it was on a kiosk, one of the automated kiosks, instead of at the counter across from an actual person, because McDonald's was out of Shamrock Shakes on fucking St. Patrick's Day. And I just can't think of, like, that's like a 7-Eleven being closed at night. It's just like one of those things, like, how in the world, the whole idea of having the Shamrock Shake is St. Patrick's Day.
Right.
And you have it a month before, and you have it at least a couple of weeks after. And the one day, that's the whole basis and the fundamental pillar of having the Shamrock Shake, which is St. Patrick's Day, and you ran out. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to yell. Again, I yelled this morning. I did that on purpose. I blew it off all my steam this morning on the morning show, and that's how I was able to just ease my way through this one. So I'm glad you did good with Popeyes.
Yes.
We did not fare so well, Justin and I.
Okay. Well, maybe next time.
He hasn't been on in a minute. We got to get him back. He was working tonight. We were talking about it last night, but we'll get him back on. It's like my whole pitiful social life is I shouldn't have said that and then said this. No. But Thursday night dinner with Justin and 60 minutes on the phone with you and my PCS family. That's like my whole social life. That's it.
That's it. Me too.
I do my laundry on Tuesday. I talk to my friend Hector once in a while. He's not always there. But that's my whole social life. It's awful, isn't it?
Well,
what's the worst part is, like, I kind of mostly like it that way, too.
Yeah. Yeah, mine's pretty much like that, too. In fact, I was doing a survey thing that, when you got your medical insurance and you do this wellness kind of a survey and you can earn points and, blah, blah, blah. And one of the questions was, do you have, a circle of friends that you can turn to when you, need to talk to somebody and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, not really. I mean, I have a lot of acquaintances and, like, everybody seems to like me, and everybody seems to get along with me,
love
and
you.
I get along with a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I can't really say that they're my friends. You know, they're just, I like them. I get along with them when I'm next to them, doing whatever I'm doing, if I'm at work,
It's like
or if
functional.
I'm working out at the pool, or,
Yeah.
you know, wherever. But it's like they're not my friends that I would
Right.
call up or anything, you know.
I like being online better. Like, online friends
Yeah,
is
me
way
too.
better. It's way better.
Oh, God. Yeah, we're all so much better online than
Definitely,
we
I
are
haven't
in
said it for a
person.
long time. I'm so much better online than I am in person. That's why I don't meet anybody or go anywhere or do anything that I don't have to do. That and
Yeah.
that I'm just, there are probably clinical words for what I am.
But we won't get into
Let's
that.
not get. I was talking about this with you the other night about, and I wasn't even planning on saying it tonight, but just like a funny thing about explaining some of me and how I ended up here where I am now.
Yeah.
And by doing a series of jacked up G facts, which I haven't done in a while, but a series this time because, and it's going to be called. What did I say the other night? It was the your pal Glenn, the formative years.
Yes.
And the whole thing was I was just laying in bed and just thinking G thoughts and going wandering off in whatever direction, and I somehow kind of knit together this whole thing where I have a traumatic childhood memory related to school from every single year of grade school, from at least 1 through 5, from kindergarten through 5th grade.
Yeah.
Like there was one thing I vividly remember from each one of those years that was like something that was like freaky and would traumatize you, like potentially. I'm not saying it did,
Yeah.
but I'm saying it could explain some things.
Yeah.
And the combination of things. So what I'm going to do, maybe I'll start it, I'm not going to start it tonight. Maybe I'll start it over the weekend.
Okay.
We're going to do a series of jacked up G-Facts, and I'm just going to take you through the formative years, K, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, at least that far. It gets sketchy after that because, well, whatever, you're older and you do more things, and the things you do get a little wackier if you're leaning the way I am.
Right. But they're like purposely wacky at that point.
That's a
You know,
good
can't-
excuse
you can't-
for it.
When you get to be that age, you sort of consciously do a lot of shit that can be traumatic.
Yeah, you do a lot of shit to try and fit in.
Yeah.
I did. Maybe that was my experience. This is going to be a whole lot of jacked up G-Facts by the time we're done.
Yeah. Well, one right off the top of my head, I can remember. I mean, I can't say I had one in every grade, but I know in kindergarten, I peed in my pants at school.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of kids did that. Not to diminish it.
I know a lot of kids did that.
But you remember it. That's the thing. Like most kids
I
don't.
remember it,
Like,
yeah.
You remember it, so like obviously it like struck a chord.
Right.
I got memories like that. I'm gonna just give you. I'm not even gonna go into it tonight. I'm gonna save it. We'll start it tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow night we'll start it. Jacked up G-Fact series. Your pal Glenn, the formative years. And I'm going to tell you, but I'm going to tell you things like memories that I'm going to be like describe colors and shapes and things like that. Like that's how I could tell you the words. I could tell you if I could imitate the person, like I would be doing it dead on. And it's kind of weird in that respect.
Yeah.
I don't know. This could be fun. This could be like very therapeutic for me.
I think it could. I think
And it
you're
could
going to
explain
get
a
a
lot.
lot of comments from everybody because
could
I mean
explain a lot.
everybody's got some traumatic type things that they can remember.
Yeah, this is a completely unplanned branch of the itinerary tonight.
Yeah,
But I started it
we
because I
didn't-
started saying
we-
how like I'm whatever I am.
'cause,
Functional
we didn't have
sociopath.
we didn't have anything planned tonight.
We really
basically.
didn't. Like it's Friday. I wanted to kind of take it loose. I mean, there's a lot out there,
Yeah.
and I said at the beginning of the show, I'm just trying to think of what I'm the most mad about.
Yeah.
And there was 3.
Well, okay, so we were talking, clinical and traumatic and blah,
Right.
blah, blah. How about Leah Thomas?
That's probably the one I'm most mad about, to be honest with you. And it's probably the one I would have leaned to. And it's also surprisingly blowing up on Twitter and social media, too, over other things that are, like, happening, too. And I was a little surprised at the level where people are getting involved. Like, it's just madness. If you don't know, I don't know how you couldn't, but if you don't know, there's a guy, and I don't remember what his name was in his former life. And nothing about anything I'm about to say is transphobic, so I'm just talking. and I'm just telling you my opinions of what I think. I'm not saying I'm going to say bad shit about this guy, not because he's trans, because he's an asshole.
Right.
Okay, but I just want to say right up front, none of it has anything to do with that, okay? This is not trans bashing. This is not transphobia. I don't hate anybody that I don't know. I mean, I don't know people. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Okay. Yeah. And I feel like an ass, like, having to say this up front, but I just want to be clear, and I don't want to be questioned on it later, okay? All right, if you don't know what's going on, Leah Thomas is now claiming to be a female, used to be a male, still biologically intact. As far as I know, I've never looked, so I couldn't say. A swimmer for University of Pennsylvania, Penn, competed in the Ivy Leagues, just demolished all the competition, set NCAA records. I don't think he was undefeated. I'm not saying she either. I'm just saying that right up front too. So if you want to call the fucking cops, go for it. But I'm not saying she in this instance. And like there was a whole thing where they were talking about it a little while. They were going to ban her from. I just said she, didn't I? What a fucking dick I am.
Yep.
All right, I slipped once.
That's okay.
Okay. This is hard for me now. You see what they're pulling me in. They're pulling me in. So they let him compete in the Ivy League championships, won everything in sight, broke all the records, beat everybody, and then like second place and third place and fourth, they're standing on the podium just like with their hands in their face in their hands. It's ridiculous. Comes to NCAAs, they talked about the same thing, maybe not having him compete, whatever. They let him compete. He competed. He blew out another record. The race he won today, the 500 meter freestyle, I guess. I don't know anything about swimming. He won it by like 1.7 seconds or something like that, which in swimming is a pretty big stretch. Like that's not like I'm used to it with running from track. Like 1.7 seconds in a 1 mile race is about 9 meters. Like I know like the mathematics of that. In swimming, it's a lot more than that. It's like probably like 20 meters, I would think. Anyway, the second place finisher was the silver medalist in the Olympic Games in Tokyo.
Wow.
In the female competition. You see, that's what the problem is with this. It's not even a question of if it's right or if it's wrong. It's wrong. It's just absolutely wrong. And everybody knows it. Even the people that are perpetrating it know it. Even this guy wearing a women's bathing suit, swinging a dick, not a tit on him, and pretending and just dragging everybody into this folly and having to embrace it, and like it's not wrong. It's offensive at this point. I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to say like 15 different things about it because it hits close to home for me. Because and I've said it before, you guys, if you're new, maybe you don't know, but I've definitely talked before. My older boy, Kevin, was a rock star distance runner in high school. Ran in college, got himself a good scholarship to a Division I track and field school. He did real well with it. He was like top 1% of the top 1% distance runners when he was in high school. And I'm not daddy bragging. It's going to play into the story. So I understand what this is like. Like I understand competition, how hard people work at this sort of thing. So here's one thing out of the 15 things I want to say. How hard all of these other girls worked, women, I should say, worked since probably they were 5 years old, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go get some pool time in, doing it after school, doing it on the weekends, traveling to competitions from the time they were 5 and 6 and even maybe younger than that. I know in track it starts when they're around like 8 or 9 years old, some of these kids. And worked all along and had this dream and you worked for it. Now maybe this is as far as you were ever going to go. You're not going to the Olympics. You're not going to this. I don't know if there's professional swimming even. This is it, the NCAA championships. And like a year before that happens, this story starts developing. And after all the work you put in, all that time and all those mornings and all the traveling and competition and everything that goes along with it, the injuries, all of that stuff, you find out a year ahead of time that now this is a man that you have to compete against now, and everything you worked for is just done and finished. So that's one of the things that's really got me riled up about this, because again, I saw my son go through that, not even at this level. He competed at the NCAA level, but he was like, in high school, he was like a real top-end kid. And I saw how hard he had to work just to get to that. And thinking about how hard these people work, and watching it, the nicest thing I saw, this is the best thing I've seen since this whole thing started like a year ago or whatever it was. That on the podium today at the NCAA championships, they gave them all their medals, they were all standing there, whatever, And then at one point, the second place girl and the 8th place girl, which were on the one side of the frame, went up to the 4th place girl, and they all embraced over there. And this guy was just left standing there looking like a dick. And
yeah.
I don't know if anybody else saw that. I just kind of caught it like this afternoon.
Yep.
That was like the
Picture,
nicest. That was the best thing I've seen about this whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
now I just went off for 3 minutes. Please.
That's okay.
Go.
That's okay. Everybody, I don't think any of us care if anybody is trans, love who you love, do your thing, you be you. Nobody's arguing that at all. But when he's up there with the big broad shoulders and the great big upper body,
it's atrocious.
Compared to the girls that are swimming, it's like, come on.
It's just ridiculous.
It's just not fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I was joked about this too. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Mary Gunny has a comment. She said, how Caitlyn Jenner has been speaking out
Absolutely.
against this whole thing too, and she said that Caitlyn stated today that Caitlyn thought that Leah was holding back so as not to win by too much.
I wouldn't be surprised about that. There's such a vast difference.
So it's like, so now how pure is this sport if somebody's holding back so they don't win by too much? I mean, now it's really ridiculous.
There was an incidence of this sort of thing, and it was a little more reasonable than this situation. It was a case of, I don't remember what country it was, and I'm not going to remember her name, but it was an African country. It was an African runner who was actually a female but a hermaphrodite. She also had testicles which produced testosterone, but she was actually a female. And there was her testosterone levels. I don't remember all the details of it. Caster Semenya was her name, actually. I just don't remember what country she was from. And she was running 800 meter. I think she ran maybe the 400 once in a while, but her specialty was the 800 meter. And they were saying the same thing. Like, this was just a big, powerful, muscular human being. Nothing feminine at all, but biologically she was actually a female, and she was running against females. So it wasn't a situation of a male competing against females, but the testosterone came into play, which makes this even more poignant. Like, this isn't even a male, and look how much of a difference it made. This girl was running like 156, 155, which is smoking hot for a female in the 800 meters. Okay, this isn't going to mean anything to anybody. I'll try and make it more tangible, but the top men in that same race that the women are peaking out at like 154, 155, they're running 145, 146 over 800 meters. So 20 seconds faster, or 10 seconds faster on a 2-lap race. I mean, that's a lot. It's a huge amount of time, and it's a big difference. And I'm going to take it back. This is what I was saying before about my son, Kevin. When he was running, okay, I don't remember any numbers. I know it's at some points during his career, when he was a junior, when he was a senior, there were times when he was ranked in the top 100 milers in the country, out of about something like 300,000 kids who had to run the mile at the end of the year, throughout a course of a season in the United States. So he was no shit. Like, this kid could run. He had a peak mile around 4:16. He was a 9:12 or 9:14 2-miler. He was right up at the top edge of the game. But he wasn't elite level high school in that, like, going to the national meets and going to the high-end national invitationals. They have the Milrose Games. We talked about the Milrose Games, and nobody knows anything about that. I found that out. But the Milrose Games is like a big deal. He missed going to the Milrose Games by like 1 point or 0.12 tenths of a second. Like,
wow.
So he was right there, but he was never that guy. Like, he was never the top guy, okay? Mm-hmm. The times that he ran in high school would win just about every Olympic Games in the women's equivalent events that there ever was. Uh-huh. If he ran against women, a kid who was a good high school runner, he was an okay college runner, never became a pro, never went any further than that, would win every Olympics there ever was in the women's events and the equivalent events. Uh-huh. There's just no comparing it. And you take a top-end kid, the top-end kids, like we were talking about this a week or two ago, or last weekend when we were having the Nationals, and those guys, we never really talked about it. I talked about it amongst myself, but that's the way it goes sometimes. But these kids are running. There was a kid this year that's run a 3:58 mile, which is like, that's the 4-minute mile. It's like the benchmark for the elite distance runner. There's only 13 high school boys who have ever broken 4 minutes in the mile. So this kid ran a 3:58. A girl breaking like 4:45 is miraculous. There's such a vast difference between the two. And this is when you still have some of that physical equality, like when they're younger, girls a lot of time get bigger and they get stronger and they get faster than the boys do. And then the boys kind of catch up and then surpass them. But when you're in high school at that level, like, you're still not there yet. Like, there's still a little bit of, there's a bigger difference as they get older, once they get to the college level.
Right.
And I'm just going way off on a tangent trying to make this point here, but there's no comparing this. This is so unfair and it's so unreasonable. And it offends me that just this guy is just walking around like he's the just king shit.
Yeah.
Beating women. He was ranked like something number 492 in the event a year ago when he was competing as a man. The winning time at this race, like, it was something like a minute and a half. I don't even know. And I don't know times, like, relative to swimming. I know him in track. But, like, it's just so ridiculous. And it's so offensive. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows this is bullshit. And it's just a very small, minute little portion of the population that has the biggest fucking mouths of anybody and the busiest thumbs on their smartphones of anybody that make it seem like it's a big deal.
Yep.
And you cancel this. You know, they like to cancel you, that little tiny bit. And maybe I'm overestimating or underestimating, whatever. I just don't see it as being the majority of the population out there feeling this way. Supporting this sort of thing, okay?
Yeah.
And they're canceling us, and they're doing that to us. So cancel them.
Yeah.
The solution to this problem, and I've been kidding around about it, but it got more serious as it got closer. And as it came down today, and it almost made me sad when I thought about it, when I first read about the race had been swum and this guy won. The best statement anybody could have made wasn't going to be on Twitter, and it wasn't going to be on Capitol Hill, and it wasn't going to be on ESPN. It wasn't going to be any of us. It wasn't going to be anybody in Congress. It was going to be the other 7 ladies that stood on the starting blocks at that race. When the starter gun goes off, let this guy jump in the pool and swim on his own, and the other 7 of you step off your blocks, embrace, and walk back to the locker room.
Yep.
Because you know how much this was on Twitter today? This whole situation with Leah Thomas, and she's all over the place. He's all over the place, everywhere on Twitter. That video of him swimming in that pool by himself and the other 7 girls walking away in their protest would have blown up the internet. It would have been on 1,000 times more. Yes. And it would have started a ruckus, and these girls would have taken a beating over it. But you got to take that, and you got to say, you know what? I'm going to weigh being called names by unhinged left holes on the internet, on social media, and I'm going to weigh that against my dreams that I worked my whole life for, and my integrity, and my self-respect. And it's not a hard choice to make. You take that beating. That's nothing.
Yeah.
Everybody can talk. It's the same shit with Ukraine. And I'm not telling anybody, don't put the flag up. Do it if it makes you feel better, but that's not helping anything. That's just, it's symbolic. That's all anybody's been doing so far, for the most part, with this thing that's going on with women's sports right now, is symbolic. Nobody's doing anything of any substance about this. And it's going to be too late before somebody does if they keep doing this. If you keep just playing and you keep talking, that's nothing. That's not helping a thing. Those girls had an opportunity today to make the biggest statement anybody's made against this on their own behalf in front of the entire country. And they let it go by. And I don't know. You know what? I'm not an 18, 19, 20-year-old girl. Still maybe trying to fit in. Still maybe trying to find the adult that I'm going to be one day. And it's not easy. We're going to go back to like we were talking about before about being in school. School's brutal for me. I had a horrible time in school and trying to fit in and shit like that. So I get it when you're 18 or 19. Maybe you're not ready to take that stand. It just made me a little sad. Not that I even, who would have even thought of that except somebody fucked up like me. But that's what I saw where I was like, you know what? That would have been a statement. That would have been the statement to make right there.
Yeah. I mean, unless they're so intent on, knowing they're not going to be first place, but maybe I can be second or third.
But what's that? I mean,
I know.
That's against. Here goes thing number 2, and this is a minor one for me personally, but it's important anyway. Where's feminism on that?
Yeah.
You're making, okay, we're going to fight for number 2 now? You've been fighting against being number 2 for the last 70 years.
Yeah. Yes.
Now you're going to fight to be number 2 again. You're going to let biological women fight to be number 2 to promote this fucking circus act.
Yeah.
I'm mad at the 30-minute mark, Linda. Queen Linda.
I know it.
You got to talk me down. You got to talk me down and get me out of here.
Okay.
We only had to pick one topic tonight. Well, we did talk about fast food a lot at the beginning, but
yeah, we did.
And my social life and lack thereof.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Oh, I don't like getting mad at the end like that. But again, like I said, I just got the tie to it, not that right up front, but just through everything, like seeing what that's like firsthand, working that hard to achieve that. And there's way more to it than that, but just that really like brought it home for me.
Yeah.
You can have the rest of the show, whatever you got. No, wait, stop. Don't say anything. No. Don't say anything yet. Linda, you got anything going out?
I do.
What?
I do have something.
Holy camoles!
I gotta ask you where. Okay.
Okay.
On the Substack.
Yeah.
Post that you did about Joe Biden talking to Xi Jinping on the phone today. How did you get that phone to like go on and off? Like lit up.
It's a GIF.
Oh, it's a GIF. Okay.
Not a gift, a GIF, a GIF, like one of those flashy things. Which I grabbed it. Actually, I just found this out like a week or two ago. Another little PCS Studios technological breakthrough. That I grabbed that one time. I grabbed something a couple of weeks ago just for the photo, for the screenshot. And when I loaded it into the Substack platform, it played as a GIF. I was like, oh, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
So when I find like a good GIF, I throw that in there too. So I thought that was kind of. I kind of want to leave that pin there so like it's flashing red all the time, and maybe people will notice it and come and subscribe for $6 a month. That's all it costs. That sounds reasonable, doesn't it?
I think it sounds reasonable.
We've been kind of dry the last like week or two.
Oh, maybe I should do some more commercials.
Maybe we should. I don't know. I'll think up something over the weekend.
I'll have to think of a video or something to do for it.
Or maybe I'll do some shit like sing really bad and like stop when people sign up.
Yeah.
I'll just like I'll sing like tomorrow, like the sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. And I'll just keep singing that until somebody fucking subscribes.
Yeah, there you go.
And then I'll stop. I don't know. We'll work something out. Anyway, guys, all kidding aside, PCS Nation on Substack. Come and get us at the full website. It's $6 a month to subscribe, $60 a year. It gives you access to the full website, all the videos, everything we post there. It gets you the PCS Nation morning reports every single morning, 7 days a week, relentlessly, and everything else that we do. $6 a month. That's 21 cents a day. If you're going to the bar tonight, you're going to tip the bartender $6. Easy. Take a shot for a month. If you don't like it, kick me the fuck out, and we'll all still be friends here on the other platforms. And that's about all I have to say about that. PCS Nation on Twitter at PCS Nation Bitches, spelled BITCHZ. Queen Linda will have all the information you need about all the wonderful options and paths you can take through PCS Nation once we commence here tonight.
All roads lead to PCS Nation.
All roads lead to PCS Nation. And that's about all we got, guys. Love you. Thank you so much. PCS Nation Facebookers, I will see you on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. PCS Nation family on Substack. We will play around all weekend long. Got the World Track and Field Indoor Championships this weekend. So I'm going to be watching that. Nobody gives a shit, but that's my due. Love you guys. Thank you for your support here on all platforms, and we are out.